friends, good day. Today is the 23rd of November 2019, a Saturday, and I'm coming to you again with a very important video I want to do. I want us to look at the electoral process and election. My name is Clifford Iroanya, and I'm coming to you from Houston. Now, we all know that the Constitution is the source of our misery. That is the source of all the problems we have. And the only remedy is for us to take down that Constitution. However, the Constitution is always renewed and reinforced after every election. And we know that the election is only an end to a process. But let me get back to the Constitution. This Constitution has been roundly rejected countrywide. First of all, the 12 northern states, the 12 Sharia states, they rejected the Constitution in year 2000, when simultaneously the 12 of them declared Sharia, which is in contradiction with the meeting and agreement that was had in 1959 in Lancaster House in London. Secondly, even the Nigerian Constitution section 10 says that there shall be no state religion. And so those 12 states have unilaterally seceded from Nigeria. They have seceded from the secular union which was agreed upon at the Lancaster House in 1959 and also in section 10 of the 1999 Constitution. Secondly, there was also countrywide rejection of the Constitution. First of all, let me start from the recent one. On the 18th of July 2018, the Middle Belt in the Makurdi Declaration rejected the 1999 Constitution. Even John Nyamodo and Edwin Clark were invited to that Makurdi Declaration, and they were there. This is there for the records. On the 7th of September 2017, the first and so far the only solemn assembly held in the southwest region of Nigeria was held at Ibadan, and they roundly rejected the 1999 Constitution. Going further back, on the 27th of April 2015, there was the solemn assembly of the peoples of the Lower Niger held in Port Harcourt, and that same rejection of the 1999 Constitution was the agreement in that very solemn assembly. Now, talking about the individuals, there are prominent people in Nigeria who are well versed in jurisprudence and in the Constitution of Nigeria. People like Professor Akin Oyebode rejected the 1999 Constitution. Dr. Amos Akingba rejected the 1999 Constitution. Chief John Nyamodo has told us that the 1999 Constitution is not autochthonous, meaning that the people did not approve of it. Of course, we have Professor Senator Shola Adeyeye, who roundly rejected the 1999 Constitution. We have Chief Ayo Adebanjo. He also rejected the 1999 Constitution. And of course, we have our own very Mark Olise, the Deputy Director of Public Communications of the Lower Niger Congress, also rejected the 1999 Constitution. Therefore, having rejected the Constitution by the Sharia North, the Middle Belt, the Southwest, and the Lower Niger region, which is the Southeast and the South-South, then what must be done is to take down that Constitution. And to be able to take down that Constitution, we must halt the election. And we cannot just halt the election, we halt the electoral process. And that is the reason for this very video. There is a difference between the electoral process and the election. The election is the final point of the process. Let me show this thing here, please. If you can zoom this, you can see these are the electoral processes. You have the party primaries, you have the voters registration, there is the PVC issuance, they release the INEC timetable, and then of course the election. These are the processes that will ultimately lead to the election. If we come at this point where you have the election to say we want to boycott the election, then it is too little too late. What we need to do is to make sure these processes are halted. We need to halt the electoral processes in order to trigger a constitutional crisis that will lead to a transitional government that will straighten things out. Let me talk about the constitution a little bit. You know, there are people who go about saying that the National Assembly has the legislative right to make a constitution. That is very, very wrong. Constitution making is beyond the powers of the National Assembly. Any lawyer at all that is telling you that the National Assembly has the power to make a constitution, that lawyer is either ignorant, dishonest, fraudulent, or is an outright criminal. It is not done anywhere in the world, not even only Nigeria. It is the constituents, that is the ethnic nationalities, that come together to constitute the constitution. In other words, the constituents are the ones that are empowered to make a constitution, and not the National Assembly. Therefore, in summary, what I'm saying is that we must halt further elections. And the way to halt further election is to halt the processes that go into that election. We have the 4 territories. The Sharia territory rejected the constitution. The Middle Belt rejected the constitution. The Southwest rejected the constitution. And the Southeast and the South rejected the constitution. And therefore, the constitution must be taken down. And the only way to take down the constitution is to stop electoral processes. And the power to stop the electoral processes is in us. It is in our power to stop all these things. And the time to do that is now. We cannot wait until 2023. By then it will be too late. In 2029, 2019, I beg your pardon, we must put a halt to the electoral process. Before I conclude, let me issue a warning. I wanted to say this, right from my head, but I had to write it down so that it will go very clear. Now, the parties preparing to partake in these electoral processes and the election themselves are the very sustainers of the toxic 1999 Constitution. Knowing fully well that at the end of the electoral processes, winners of the election will have to swear to preserve, to defend, and to uphold the 1999 Constitution. It follows that in submitting to the electoral processes, the political parties and the political merchants clear-mindedly wish to renew our enslavement by renewing the life of the Constitution. It follows that any political party, political merchant, or candidate for any election that will be held under this so-called 1999 Constitution is the arch enemy of the people, seeking extrication from the stranglehold of that Constitution, and should expect to be treated as such. In other words, if you are bringing out yourself to continue to reinforce the 1999 Constitution by going into politics, primaries, voting, issuance of PVC, doing anything that will further reinforce the 1999 Constitution, you are an enemy of the people and you'll be treated as such. You are therefore warned to stay away from anything that has to do with the electoral process. Let me give a little secret. For those of you who are talking about liberation, for talking about self-determination, This is the secret. I want you to zoom in on this. This is the secret. You see this? You see the election? When that election is halted, you see what it does to the Constitution? And when the Constitution is taken down, you see what it does to the Union? So if you are there fighting for, is it Biafra, or you are fighting for Oduduwa, or you are fighting for Niger Delta Republic, this is your starting point. Halting of that election. As you can see here, you can see the lower Niger territory, the southwest, the middle belt. Once they collectively halt that election, the constitution goes down. And when the constitution goes down, the union goes down. It is called a domino effect. This is my message, and please let us make sure that we distinguish between electoral process and election. We have to halt the electoral process so that it doesn't get to the election. And with that, it will trigger a constitutional crisis that will lead a transitional government, and then everything will be straightened up. Thank you very much, and God bless you.